Hi, my name is Zachary Major, and today I'm going to be talking about OSB. OSB stands for Oriented Strand Board, and as you can see here today, I have an example with me, and this is not a full sheet, this is just a smaller piece, and I'm just using that as an example. And first off, I'm going to talk about how it is made. OSB is made out of smaller trees, not fully grown trees. The OSB is taken and stripped down to small flakes, rectangular flakes, as you can see in the OSB. And these flakes are placed perpendicular to each other, so it gives the board more strength instead of it being parallel, such as real wood is. Going down the grain, it's easier to break than against the grain, but with this, you have against the grain and with the grain, so it makes the board stronger. And it is made by the small flakes being laid perpendicular, and then it is mixed with adhesive and heat pressed. There's usually about 50 layers of the flakes, and it is pressed down to 3/4 board depending on the board that they need. And uses for the board: it is used in many construction sites, building a small house to a bigger building. OSB is used because it is lighter, it's easier to use, and the only setback about it is the fact that it's really splintery, and when you cut it, you get shot in the face with a lot of little splinters, but if you wear glasses, you're all good. And OSB is a lot lighter than plywood, therefore it is easier to put up on the side of buildings and stuff. And also, OSB is a lot cheaper. Compared to plywood, if you build a whole house out of OSB and use OSB for the sheathing for the roofs, the walls, and the flooring, you will save a ton of money which you can spend elsewhere. And let's talk about some setbacks of OSB. One setback about OSB is that if it gets wet, it will be wet for a while. It takes a while to dry it. Even though the adhesive is waterproof, it still sucks up the water, and it is very difficult to get it to dry. Also, if it gets wet and dry multiple times and you keep allowing it to get wet, such as there being a problem with your shingles or something, the board will start to fall apart and it will start to leak. Now, a few other things that I'd like to talk about the OSB is how much lighter it is, and which makes it easier to use on the work site and makes cost a lot less because the laborers, it's easier for them to put it up, carry it, cut it, and everything. Also, when you come to difficult cuts that you have to map and you have to measure and everything, because on the more modern houses with the nice windows and everything, you have to make very intricate cuts, and to make these cuts you're gonna mess up a few times. I've worked with it before and it is a problem. You will go through a few boards if it needs to be a big board. And with this, that is cheaper than plywood, you'll be saving money in that way. And that concludes this video on OSB.